Hey guys, my name is Josha Daniel, and today I'm going to give you like a small overview of a track I produced and I wrote myself. It's called Ordinary Life, and it's one of the songs of my upcoming EP. So I really hope you enjoy it, and yeah, let's dive into it. I usually start a track with some chords because chords are for me like the most inspiring part of the track. It was something pretty cool, and it sounded like this. I will just play it for you guys. I'm running away again from this ordinary life. Keep my head on the water. I don't know what's right, 'cause I'm running away again from this ordinary life. Keep my head on the water. I don't know what's right, 'cause I'm running away again. I can take you anywhere, even if you don't believe. Running through electric air, anywhere you wanna be. Alright, so I guess you get the point of this song. So I started this song with these strings over here. And later I added these chords. You kind of hear the sidechain going. I always really love recording like the analog sounds. So I've got some synths at home. I've got a Prophet Rev 2, which is amazing, I think, for these kind of pads. But like I told you, this string over here, the main string, just came from a library. So it was not analog, but it's probably like some contact library I used, which sounded really cool, I think. And sometimes it's even hard to make that in your real analog environment. So yeah, with this song I started with the patches, and then I added these chords to it. And that's a combination of my Rev 2, which I recorded at home. Maybe it's cool to just show you a little bit of my routing, because I work a lot with buses, so I kind of like to keep everything organized, as you see in all of the colors I use. My main strings or my main synthesizers are mainly like a bit yellow kind of vibe, and here you see a bass guitar is a bit more golden. Then I've got some guitars over here in a bus, and then my vocals are over there. So I really like to keep everything structurized and colored. So every time I open up a session, I can see directly where I'm going to. And yeah, it's very helpful for my brain to understand what I'm doing, and also to see the different layers in one go. So yeah, let's just start at the beginning. But one of the most important things for me is to really give it a beat and give it some vibe with the drums. Let's go there. It's nice to have a groove that really keeps you going and really gives you the right energy for the whole song. So I started with a cool bass line. And the bass line is a mixture of, I think, 3 different sounds. It's a UAD X Moog. I really love this synth. I would probably want to buy a real Moog later when I have a bit more money, but this one in the meantime works. It's just a very powerful synth, and you can make it sound the way an analog synth sounds as well, and it just has the right grit and the right timbre. So I'll play you the bass right now. with some reverb on it, just to give it a room, and then with the right amount of low end. And as you see, I really like to glue everything together in one bus already. So this is my kick bass bus, and the kick bass bus is for me the foundation of every song. So it gives the kick and the bass the right amount of compression, and also it glues the whole bottom of the track together. So yeah, if you get the kick and the bass working and dancing together, you really start to feel this track coming to life, and then the rest is just filling in the blanks, I think. So this is my foundation. I kind of liked it over there. I thought it has a nice groove. And then with the chords, we go like this. Then we go to the main drop. You need the chords, you need the drums, you need the vocals doing their thing. So there we go. I really like the 707 drum computer. I think this drum kit is mainly based on the 707 and layered with like a proper kick to give it some real bounce and energy. I just see like a very loud snare. All right, so for the snare, I used a couple of different plugins. I open them up over here. This is the reverb, which is one of my favorite plugins from UAD. It's a digital reverb, but it gives it the right amount of air, and also it makes it really feel alive. I'll play it without it. Very clean, very sterile, I think. And this one just makes it wider and also gives it a nice amount of room. Yeah, with a lot of my music, it's based around like a festival mix. So it's kick, snare, vocals, and the rest is like a little bit more in the back. Sometimes even the vocals are a little bit less loud, I think. So altogether, I think it sounds like a very tight, compact sound, but also big, easy to get your head around it and to groove. We did some of the bass, we did some of the drums. Let's just take a look at one very cool bass part, I think, and that's this. So for this part, I really wanted to combine a few different basses because I think it's really nice to have some real instruments in your song. It makes it more unique. It makes it more special, I think, and it's just a small part of you that's transferred through the instrument. So everybody can play Serum and everybody can like draw in some MIDI notes, but I think it's just very important to give like a little bit of yourself in every song. Yeah, like real guitars, real bass sounds, of course your vocals. These are parts that make it more interesting, I think. So I'll play it for you. Some arpeggiators and some unique sounds, I think. And there it goes. You see, I played with the mix over there, so the whole mix gets more mix of the reverb. It's also, I think it's always a lot of fun to draw in automation by yourself. Automation is, I think, one of the most important tools, and also it really makes your track stand out. So once your track is finished, I would recommend to just go through automation a couple of more times, give some parts of the song more automation, like in the build-up, or do a low cut over there, do a reverb throw or delay throw over there, and it just makes it come alive. I really like to do that with my mouse. So I play the track, I put the automation on touch, and if you move the mouse of your fader, it will record your automation. I need to check what I did here. I see. So I think it's time to dive into the vocals. Vocals are my main thing, so I really like to record vocals. I do it quite a lot, actually. I think vocals they can scare off a producer quite quickly because it's just a different approach. And also, most people, or like a lot of producers, work with vocals that are already processed all the way, and that's why they find it maybe hard to work with raw vocals. I recorded these ones, I think, at home through the Manly mic. I've got the same mic at home. It's a really nice mic. It sounds how a pop song should sound. The mic is very rich in the bottom end and in the high end without getting very harsh. So it's just a great tool. I don't think you need the most expensive mic because I recorded like a few of my favorite songs with a pretty cheap condenser mic. Oh, this one. It's the Aston mic, which is really good too. So you don't need expensive gear, but you just need to know how to make it sound polished and clean. Let's dive into how I process my vocals. I normally record a lot of layers. That's one of my things, but I also see people do that. Maybe because I don't like my dry voice, so I just like to layer my voice in like different places. So I do like 2 leads in the middle, maybe 2 leads on the side, to make it more rich and full. And also, it's like if you sing the vocal a couple of times, you get more into the vibe, and then if you layer these kind of different vibes all together, I think it can be more interesting. I don't know, Bon Iver does it. There's like a lot of, M83 does it, of course. You've got like a lot of different indie artists that I really like the sound of the vocals from. And I think it got me inspired to do like more layers too. And more can be better. So it's also depending on the track, but I think more is more with vocals. It's kind of true. I'll just play you my vocal chain.
I'm running away again from this ordinary life. Keep my head on the water. Well, I don't know what's right, 'cause I'm running away again.
There's like 1, 2, 3, like 10 different vocal layers. A few are doing the same, a few are doing some harmonies, and they all go into this bus. So this is my group vocal bus. My group vocal bus I compressed with some RVox, but the main thing I really love to use RVox for is the gate function. Sometimes I've got time to cut everything in the perfect spots, but sometimes I'm just very quick and I don't have time for it in my session. And then I put the RVox on it.
Keep my head on the water.
It just cuts the vocals for me, like gate.
Well, I don't know what's right.
So I start with that and with a low cut over there. This one is my go-to plugin if you want to make something a bit more chorusy and more wide. It's called the Microshift from Sound Toys, and I use this plugin a lot. I think it gives it more dimension, and also it just makes it feel futuristic. I think that's maybe the right word for it. So I'll play you with the plugin and without it.
I'm running away again.
So this is okay.
From this ordinary life, keep my head on the water.
It just gives it a small amount of chorus and makes it, I think, shift a bit in the high end. But I think it's just a cool sound. You can do it with doublers or with our other plugins as well. But this one is just a very easy plugin to give your vocals more interesting, unique flavor. And then I went to compress the whole bus.
I'm running away again
with the LA2A.
from this ordinary life.
And the way I approach plugins is it's always better to just do less of it with especially stuff like compression and EQ. If you compress this like and you go all the way to like 5 dB,
I'm running away again from this ordinary.
it just doesn't sound nice. So I'd rather have it doing like 2 dB of gain reduction, and then maybe use another plugin to do also 2 dB, and then maybe another one to do 2 dB. So you have like 3 compressors doing a little bit, then have one plugin do a lot, because with plugins it can get like distorted and it just doesn't sound nice. So with this I just did like a 2 dB gain reduction, or 1 dB even. But it glues it all together. And then this is my main vocal channel. You can take a look what I'm doing here. This vocal chain was probably on a lot of these chains as well, but I bounced them into place, because your computer just doesn't know how to handle everything all together. I love this plugin by Isotope. It just gives it a small denoise. So there's some problems when you're recording vocals. You get like a lot of noise going. There's also a plugin called CVox by, I think, Universal Audio has it. I really love that plugin just to get rid of the vocal noise, because if you have like 10 different vocal tracks with noise and then you compress everything and EQ everything, it will just be very messy. So I'd rather get rid of some problems first. So that's why I've got like a denoise plugin on it. And I also really don't like mouth clicks. So maybe you can hear it like if you get like this. If you get like that, these kinds of sounds, I just don't like the sound of it, but also it can really destroy the mix. So this plugin is the only plugin I know that gets rid of the clicks, and it does it in a very natural way. So get rid of the stuff you don't want to hear. Yeah, so I start with the tuning of the vocals. This one does like a slight tuning. I kept it still natural, I think, but you can go over the top with it, so be careful you don't overdo it, but just a little bit of tuning, for me it works most of the time. Then we go to the de-esser. This one is very, very easy, but also it's just a very natural sounding de-esser. Yeah, the mouth de-click, perfect plugin, I like that one. And this one does most of the heavy lifting. So I'll play you the lead vocal.
Running away again from this ordinary life, keep my head on the water.
So I just cut off a little bit of the high end and a little bit of the low end, but I also boosted the whole mid frequency a little bit with this shift in the frequency band. And that's just a very helpful trick I learned from, I think Elangelo is his name, on Mix with the Masters. What it does is just like shifts the whole frequency spectrum a little bit up and cuts a little bit of the low end. It's just very helpful. I did a little bit of it, like 0.5 dB, but it just makes it more come out of your speaker. And be careful with all of the high end frequency information. So I cut them off a little bit, and yeah, made sure it sounded right, but you don't want to kill people's ears. You know, you really want to be careful with that. Then this is one of my favorite plugins from Waves, and it's the Vocal Rider.
From this ordinary life.
It just smooths out the whole vocal without compressing it. So before going into a compressor, I like to use the Vocal Rider, because then the compressor doesn't have to work that hard. So this does like the volume automation. And yeah, if you use this one on your vocal channel or on your bass channel, it will just sit in the mix without piercing your ears or without going crazy. So it makes it very natural and kind of flat sometimes. So you have to be careful it's not doing too much, but I think this one goes all the way right now and it sounds really nice. So you can go pretty crazy with this one. Another compressor. This one does
From this ordinary life,
the control
keep my head
on the vocal channel. Glue it all together.
I don't know what's right, 'cause I'm running away again. Keep my
After the compressor, I'm using some EQ to boost some of the highs. Yeah, so here I boosted some of the 5K, and I boosted some of the low end just to give it a little bit of a smiley curve, and it sounds like this before and after.
again. From this ordinary life, keep my head on the water.
Sounds more polished to me, and also just the right amount of high end and low end. So it's very easy to work with this plugin and dial in your sound. So this is my vocal channel. I start off with a de-esser, then I go into the Pro Q3, and I really like this plugin because it's very precise, and yeah, I've got some de-essing going on over here. And cutting some highs and lows. It cleans it up a little bit more. Then I'm going into the overdrive. You see I made a small preset over here. It's called Vocals Back. Logic always comes with a couple of templates built in. And there was like the back template, I think a couple of years ago. And I saw them use this plugin on the vocals. And it's just very basic. It's just a drive +2 actually. But what it does, it gives it like a tape emulation kind of vibe, and it glues everything more together, but it really makes your vocals pop out of your speaker. So this one just gives it a small boost as well. Then I'm going into the distressor. This one glues all the vocals together. Then there's a massive Pro MB going on. This one really compresses the mid frequencies, gives the high ones a boost and the low ends a compression. I'll just play you the before and after. Before. From this ordinary life, keep my head on the water. Oh, I don't know what's right, 'cause I'm running away again. So I think it just makes it feel a bit more polished. Then there's this plugin, I think Django uses this on a lot of vocals, and this one gives it a more glue and a bit more vintage kind of sound to the vocals. So before. From this ordinary life, keep my head on the water. It does something to the high end I really think is pleasant to my ears, and also it's just a bit more vibe to it, because sometimes all of these perfect plugins can make it sound a little bit sizzly, like it's just too bright and too new, and this one does a good job at making it a bit more vintage again. What's this one doing? Oh, some distortion. From this ordinary life, keep my head on the water. Oh, that's pretty cool. Sometimes I even forget what I did because I'm playing around and I'm never looking back at my project again. But this is a pretty cool sound. So it does some tube distortion on the vocal bus, which makes it also pretty gritty. And this one is my go-to plugin for some air on your channel. You have to really be careful, because if you turn the air knob over here, it will make your whole channel go up in volume. So just saw like somebody doing a test with this plugin, and the way sometimes plugin manufacturers make their plugin sound better is to just boost a lot of the gain. So this one does the same thing, I think, but also it does give a nice high-end touch to it, but it will make everything louder. So it's better to just start with this plugin on already, so you don't fool your ears. I like what it does to the high end, but you have to be careful that you're not boosting everything and make just everything sound louder, which you think is better, but it's not really better. So what I tend to do is just go through the different kind of parts of your song, and then play with the automation and like make it really full and open when the new part is coming. So it glues it all together, but it gives it a more interesting feeling, and it's really like it's developing your own signature in your song, and it's also done with the hand, so it gives it a bit more of a human touch to it. So you can hear it over here. I'm running away again. I can take you anywhere, even if you don't believe. Running through electric air, anywhere you wanna be. I can take you anywhere, even if you don't believe. Running through electric air, anywhere you wanna be. So here you can really see the different parts of the automation going pretty crazy. So there's one Valhalla Super Massive. Yeah. So here you can see the Valhalla Supermassive going up. The Meta Flanger. This is one of my my favorite and unique flanger sounds. It sounds so horrible that it sounds amazing. It's like a very basic plugin, but it does the job, I think. And it's nasty, but it sounds like the vintage kind of flangers, I think.
Running through electric gas.
And there it goes open.
Anywhere you wanna be.
Gives so much energy to this part, I think. Makes it more unique and stand out more.
Anywhere you wanna be. Anywhere you wanna be.
Nice. So by automating the different parts, it just gives it a more unique touch. And then there's this plugin I kind of use on the different vocal bus. So I've got two different parts. So this is the beginning.
I'm running away again.
And this one is more like it's more like a sample, a vintage kind of sample sound I wanted to make there. So
Even if you don't believe.
I gave it some Sound City room,
Running through electric gas.
which is pretty cool,
Anywhere you wanna be.
with some vintage warmer, some soothe to kill some of the high frequencies. I love this plugin too, because especially with vocals it can get pretty rough.
Even if you don't believe. Running through electric gas.
And of course a micro shift.
Anywhere you wanna be. I can take you anywhere.
So altogether it sounds like that.
Even if you don't believe.
And because you're automating the vocals effects,
Anywhere you wanna be.
it goes pretty crazy here.
Anywhere you wanna be. Anywhere you wanna be.
So this is the new part of the song. So this is like the breakdown part. I changed up the chords a bit. I think it was kind of cool to introduce something new. So I recorded an electric guitar over here, and I really wanted to give it like an 80s kind of guitar solo vibe to it, but I'm not the best guitar player, so I just played a cool melody, I think, which goes like this. Go back to the breakdown, to the beginning, with some more guitars. More guitars, more sounds, more drums, and everything together. So I hope you enjoyed the deep dive into Ordinary Life. And yeah, it was the first time of me doing this, so it felt a bit awkward, but I hope you could learn something of it or get inspired by it. And if you have any questions regarding the mix or production, just feel free to leave a comment below, and see you guys soon.